Welcome back, everyone. So this time on Embark with Mark, we're talking about advanced recovery gear. So let's get into it. Okay, so this video is going to be broken up into two major categories. One, the vehicle, what you should have on it as a minimum. And two, the gear you should be carrying as a minimum. Now this is all gear I carry, so this is my opinion, but a lot of it is what you should be having. And again, this is for advanced recovery. This is for people who are going out adventuring a lot on their own, maybe with friends, getting into hairy situations, rock crawling, overlanding. This is for the people who really need to rely on their gear to get them through their obstacles. So let's take a look at the car first. The vehicle. First and foremost, you need recovery points, front and rear. That's key because you may need to be recovered from the front or the rear. You may need to recover someone else from the front or the rear. Now for me, on the front, I use these recovery hooks right here. These are factory to the TJ. They're known to be durable. They're not known to have issues. I can get away with this as well too because if I'm really stuck, I use my winch. I'd rather use the winch than be tugging on my Jeep that hard. If it's hard enough to where I think this hook can break, there's no reason to use a tow strap. There's no reason to tug that hard. That is just too hard. That means I'm stuck too bad and I need to reanalyze the situation if I think that we're gonna have to yank on this so hard that I could break this hook. So I use hooks in the front. As I just mentioned, I use a winch. A winch is also going to be key. If you're by yourself or you're doing extreme crawling or you're overlanding in groups, but the main thing is if you're doing this a lot and you're by yourself, you're gonna want a winch because they're crucial. You can use them with trees, with tree savers. You can use them with land anchors. You can even bend tie rods back if you have to. You can run the winch under your front axle to suck it down, and then use a high lift to lift your Jeep up so that you're not lifting the suspension to change a tire. There's a lot of things you can do with a winch, and it's a crucial tool, so that's what you need. Now, on the rear, I run an aftermarket bumper with three-quarter mount, with three-quarter shackle mounts, and that's what I typically use. For very light recoveries, what I will do is I will put the strap in the hitch pin, but those are typically on things like people are stuck in a snowbank or on ice, or they're stuck on like really light mud. They just have no traction where it's slick. If it's a really heavy recovery, like in rocks where someone is really stuck, I won't use that. I will hook it up to the shackle. So, on to the next part. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna want is you're gonna want a good shovel. Don't get a fold one, get a full-size shovel, something that fits you well. Guarantee you a folding shovel is gonna let you down. Either your back is gonna hurt, they're gonna break. I know they're cool, I know they save space, but get a full-size shovel, mount it on the outside somewhere, it'll be worth it. Next thing, I carry two straps. The bigger one on bottom, that's a 3-inch wide, 30,000 pound strap. It's also 30 feet long. The top one is your typical 2-inch wide strap. I think this is 20,000 pounds. It's 20 feet long. I use this one most of the time for most recoveries just because it's easy to move around. But I carry two for options. If I need a longer length, I have this extra one here. If I need to tie two straps together, I can do that and I can get much longer length. Or I can use other systems too. One thing you never want to do is tie two straps together with a metal shackle though. Let me be clear, you do not want to do that. The next thing you're going to want is you're going to want tree savers. These are specifically designed to wrap around a tree, have no flex, and save the tree so you can winch on it, pull on it, strap things to it. Now you may be asking why I carry two, and here's the reason. It's because I carry two of these guys. These are Snatch Blocks. Get a good brand. These ones are just from Tractor Supply, I think, but they've been pretty good. I've put some use on them. I've not had a problem with them. Why do I carry two? It's so that I can double or triple the the rating of my winch if I need to. I can pull my Jeep sideways if I need to get myself out of a ditch. I can pull my Jeep backwards. They just afford me more flexibility when having two of them. With Shackles, you want something rated for your vehicle. These two are perfect. You also want to make sure that they fit the accessories you have. This one will not fit in my bumper. My bumper shackle mounts are too big, and this one will not fit, but I keep it because I can use it for other things. This one does fit in my bumper. I have two of these and two of the other ones. So you want a good variety. You want to make sure you have more than enough. I may move to soft shackles one day, but for now this is what I have. Here's what you don't want though. And I know people buy them. I bought them because I thought they were cool. This is one of those shackles that has like the receiver pin in there. While they do work, as evident right here, what happens is if you're doing a pull and this shackle comes in contact with the ground or body or something else, it'll pop that pin out. And that's exactly what happened here. I had this shackle hooked to someone's tow hook, and what had happened is it twisted a little bit, righted itself, and this bumped the bumper and knocked that pin out without me knowing. And luckily nothing happened. We were on ice. It was a really light pull. I noticed it before we really started putting any tension on it. This was ready to come out though. So in my opinion, these are dangerous. Get the screw kind or get soft shackles. Get a good leather pair of gloves. You're gonna want that for your winch. Okay guys, so just some closing remarks here before we get out of here. It's getting cold and dark. My feet are getting cold because we're like on ice right now. I've been on ice all day. One, make sure and keep some recovery gear within arm's reach. I keep a tree saver, a shackle, and I also keep my winch remote. A tree saver and a shackle are right next to my seat here on the Jeep. My winch remote is on my center roof mount thing on the inside. I think it's like a Smittybilt gear console thing, whatever it is. It's up here. I have to reach this far to get it. So just know that whatever gear you need, keep some of it near you so that you can recover yourself or hand something to someone who needs to recover you without getting out of the driver's seat. I've been in situations where I couldn't really get out of the seat effectively, and so I've handed a shackle and a tree strap out the window and the other end of my winch remote so that I can recover without having to get out of the vehicle. Or I've been in a situation where I had my tailgate up against a rock, could not get my straps out, so I put my tree saver around a very big granite boulder essentially that wasn't going to move, and used my winch to help pull me out because I could not get my tailgate. So just remember, you need to have some gear within arm's reach. The second thing I want to mention is make sure you're getting the gear to your needs, right? Not all of us are hardcore rock crawlers that need the most expensive gear, and we don't need 800 pounds of gear in here to recover. Some of us only do dirt roads. Some of us are doing that. It just depends on what your needs are. So, you know, if you're a person who's just running a very light load, not pulling out not getting stuck a whole lot, you're mostly pulling other people off of like icy roads, then a hitch pin and a strap is probably fine for you. You know, with the hitch pin debate, I want to stress this: for light recoveries, it's perfectly fine. If you're having to do full throttle launches, of course a hitch pin is not a good design for that scenario. You're going to want to upgrade your gear if that's what you're doing. And I don't recommend a full throttle launch anyway. You shouldn't be dragging someone's vehicle full throttle. That's a recipe for disaster for someone. The third thing I wanna say is that in the previous video for basic 4x4 gear, I made a mistake. I made a statement something like you can hook two straps together with a shackle. That was not my intent. I took a look at the video after a few people were making the comment, and I realized I made a mistake when I articulated that. That was my fault. You don't want to hook straps together with anything metal. There's many methods to hook two straps together. Don't use anything metal. What I meant was you could hook things to tree savers or hook a strap around a tree if you had to with a shackle, which is totally fine. You can do that. There are safe ways to use metal shackles. Putting them in line with two straps together is not a safe way to do it. So I just wanted that to be known. Anyway, guys, so with that, I'm going to end the video here. I really appreciate you watching. I hope you liked the video. If you do, give it a thumbs up. If you like what's going on in the channel, hit subscribe down below. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.